Hey, what's going on? This is Troy, and this is the Planet 76 podcast, your source for Sixers news, highlights, hot takes, and more. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, everybody, to a special edition of the Planet 76 podcast. I'm your co-host, Michael from Trust to Love. I'm going to be going solo in this one tonight. Troy has some unexpected things going on, so I'm going to be running this episode tonight. And this is going to be the Planet 76 mini episode 12.5 free agency special. That's a mouthful there, but that's what we're going to run with for the night. And basically, I'm just going to give my thoughts on free agency so far, some of the guys the Sixers signed, and we're going to go from there. I'm going to leave the draft stuff and a little bit more in-depth free agency thoughts to next episode when Troy's back, but I'm going to be running with this as with this episode tonight. So with that, I'm just going to start off. For those that don't know, free agency began yesterday. Well, this is being recorded on Tuesday at 9:25 p.m. So everything after right now, I have no idea what's happening right now. So I'm not going to be able to talk about it on this episode. Free agency started yesterday, Monday, at 6 p.m. Eastern. A lot of stuff went down right off the bat. The Sixers took a while to actually make any moves. They actually re-signed Furkan last night to a $5 million deal for 1 year. So Furkan is back. And then just today, the Sixers signed Drummond to a 1-year veterans minimum deal. And then just about an hour ago, they signed Georges Niang from the he was a former Utah Jazz player. That deal is still being negotiated, but it's estimated to be around $3.6 million per year, which is going to be around $7 million for 2 years. He'll be on a 2-year deal. And these are the current moves the Sixers made, as I mentioned a few minutes ago. I have no idea what else is happening. Something could go down right now, and I have no idea. But I'm recording this with the knowledge I have currently. Like I said, Troy is not here. So we're going to do another episode with him probably next week or the end of this week, and we're going to go into the draft. I'm going to leave the draft to that episode when he's back, and we're going to go into a little bit more in-depth in free agency, and then also whatever other moves happen, if there are any other moves that happen, we will also talk about those. So I'm just going to give my quick thoughts on the moves so far from the Sixers. So obviously I like Furkan Kork. I like that they re-signed him, for those that don't know, or for those that haven't been following my platform, Trust to Love on Instagram, for a while. I'm a big Furkan guy, so I'm really happy the Sixers were able to re-sign him. As I mentioned, 1 year, $5 million deal. And then just this morning, the Sixers got Drummond on a 1-year veterans minimum deal. Not too bad. I think I mentioned it in a post I made earlier today, again, which is Tuesday. I've never been a huge Drummond guy. I wouldn't necessarily call myself an Drummond fan, I guess. But I mean, I don't mind the deal. I think as a replacement for Dwight, if you can't get Dwight, I guess Drummond is the next best thing. Now, personally, I would have preferred Dwight Howard, but again, since you can't get Dwight, he's going to the Lakers, as I will talk about in a few minutes here. I guess Drummond's the next best thing. He'll still get the job done as a backup big. He'll be serviceable enough, as I've been saying. He'll block shots, he'll get rebounds. Good for a solid 12 to 13 minutes per night when Embiid is out of the lineup and when he goes to the bench to rest. So, not the worst deal in the world. Not the worst deal in the world. We'll see what happens with that. So, Georges Niang from the Utah Jazz, as I mentioned, he's going to be on a 2-year deal. I like this move a lot. He's a very good shooter, for those that don't know. Pretty good defender as well. I think he'll probably be like a backup 3-4, maybe like a tweener 4, small ball 4. I like the move a lot. I think he's going to help this team a lot. Great fit. I like that signing. Really good signing. Hopefully there's more. Again, like I said, no idea what else is happening right now. Hopefully there's more to come. But with that being said, let's give some general topics here. I'm going to try and keep this short. I just want to give my overall thoughts so far. Update on Simmons. A report came out from Ramona Shelburne, whatever, saying that she thinks the Sixers are going to try and keep Simmons because apparently allegedly, as Troy likes to use, shout out Troy, they haven't been able to find a deal for Simmons, which, I don't know if I necessarily believe that. Ramona Shelburne has been known for being a narrative-based voter in the MVP race. She's been known to vote for LeBron James for his legacy and for the narrative of LeBron, instead of voting for the rightful player and voting for the player who deserves it most. I'm referring to the MVP race, not this past season, but 2 seasons ago when Giannis won. She came out and said, yeah, I'm a narrative-based voter, so I have a hard time believing things that she says and does. But nevertheless, Simmons may or may not be here next season, which is something that we are all pretty much aware of. I think as time goes on, we're pretty much under the assumption that Simmons could realistically be here next season, at least entering training camp and at least entering the first few weeks of the season. So Dwight Howard has left the Sixers, as you all know. He was getting mixed views from people. I was one that was grateful for Dwight's time here. I think he was really good for us. I think he played his role very well. A lot of people were mad because, of the technical fouls, of the, stuff that Dwight would do. A lot of people were mad because he, quote-unquote, snaked us, which, it is what it is. He won a ring in L.A. I don't blame him for wanting to go back to try and win another one. But Dwight Howard has left, and the Sixers basically did a Andre Drummond for Dwight Howard swap because Andre Drummond was on the Lakers before last season, and Dwight Howard was on the Sixers last season. So, they may as well have just done a trade for them, honestly. I don't know how that would have worked, but at this point, you never know. So, last topic before I end this episode. Again, mini episode, Planet 76, mini podcast, episode 12.5, free agency special. Danny Green is receiving interest from multiple teams, apparently. The Heat, Bucks, Celtics, I think I saw Pelicans as well, have apparently been inquiring about Danny Green. So, that could be a big reason why this Danny Green situation is taking so long. He has a few potential suitors, and we don't really know where he's going to end up. Apparently, I saw a report earlier. Apparently, there's no deal close for the Sixers and Danny Green, so we're going to have to wait out on that. But I would like to have Danny Green back. I know a lot of people will disagree with me, but I like Danny Green. I think he was really good for this team. So I would definitely like to have him back. But again, similar to Dwight Howard, if he leaves, it is what it is. Obviously, they found better homes, better deals elsewhere. So, other than that, I'm going to end this episode. And as I mentioned before, me and Troy will be back. We'll probably be recording at the end of this week, if not early next week. We'll recap free agency. We'll recap the draft. And maybe a Simmons trade will happen. Probably not. But we'll recap a Simmons trade if that occurs as well. So with that, I'm going to end the episode. Thank you to everyone for listening. Make sure you guys follow us on Instagram, Planet76 Podcast. We're really close to 200 followers. Go follow me, go follow Troy. And that's it.
You just listened to an episode of the Planet 76 podcast. Hey, we appreciate you joining us for this episode. Whatever platform you're on, why don't you hit that subscribe button for us, and we'll see you next time.